Hey, this is Posers Must Die, and I'm Nicholas Prom.
I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
Yeah, fellers. Hey, folks who are new to the program, every week we review heavy metal albums, new, old, uh, and talk about shows when we went to them, and have good times talking in a lively discussion of the heavy metal universe. Uh, and
Gamma Ray. Sorry.
Yeah, Gamma Ray. And our first item of business for this week's show has definitely a solid Gamma Ray connection. It is Helloween's new live album, Live at Budokan. Man, I love this record. This rules. I listened to this like 10 times, man.
We got a little bit of a jump on it because we were able to listen to it through our connection there.
Yes.
But it didn't make the show in time for it to be, ahead of the curve. But we got it now.
Yeah.
Dude, it fucking rules.
Oh my god, this record does rule. And I do want to give a little this is a very special thing with Helloween. This is the second live album in a row, first of all. But the previous studio record was the beginning of something very new and special and celebratory in the history of Helloween, being the bringing together of all three of their vocalists from throughout Helloween's long history, which I will give a brief synopsis of. Okay, so on the Helloween EP and their first full length Walls of Jericho. Kai Hansen played guitar and sang, and then Michael Kiske came along and sang lead vocals on the Keeper of the Seven Keys albums, and then with Kai Hansen doing backup vocals and playing guitar. 1989, Kai left Helloween to form Gamma Ray with future Primal Fear singer Ralph Sheepers. And Gamma Ray rules. Helloween soldiered on a couple more albums with Michael Kiske and sans Kai Hansen. And then he left in 1993. And then Andy Darris has sung for Helloween from 1994 on. He sang on like 10 or 11 albums. Well, anyway, in 2017, Helloween decided, like, wait, here's a thing. Why don't we see if Kai and Michael would like to come back and we could do this united supergroup version of Helloween? And it's awesome, dude. They did a non-album single, Pumpkins United, and then they did a full-length album, and they've done these 2 live records, and they're a second full-length is in the works. But it's super Helloween, man. And it's really awesome. I just love all of this. And this record, this live album, is such a celebration of that long history. And I love that the singers are trading off verses, and the new songs, they're written in that way to take turns. This would be like if Maiden had said, hey, you know what? We're bringing Paul and Blaze back. We're going to make a new record. And we're going to tour together. It's that for Helloween.
Wow.
And this is incredible. I love this. Performances are really strong, and there's just the goodwill and the fun is just pouring out of every note. I just love this, guys.
The crowd was just totally fucking loving it. The Budokan, so it's Tokyo, right? It's not Tokyo.
Yeah. Tokyo, Japan.
Okay, yeah, Tokyo. Yeah, they brought it. They brought it.
Wow.
They were very much fans of Helloween. They were. I don't know. That's a crappy way to put it, but the crowd was very much a part of this album.
Yeah.
a lot of hey guys, let me hear you type shit, and oh man, and the patter, the stage patter between all the vocalists and the band itself and the crowd was just great. But Skyfall, Dr. Steen, The Keeper of the Seven Keys, the 20-minute track, holy fuck, live! Oh, it sounded so good.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Take a step back.
I just thought this was
I was
incredible.
yeah.
It's really good, and like, and there's a handful of songs from the most recent album, the Pumpkins United album, it's a self-titled Helloween album, but and it's really good, and I'm like, holy, like, full disclosure, my familiarity with Helloween pretty much begins and ends with their '80s albums, really, and like, and I've heard the odd song here or there, but now I'm like, man, I want to go full bore on Helloween. I'm gonna do a deep dive on the discography. Like, I was planning to go deep on German power metal anyway, because it's kind of a bit of a blind spot for me. But yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, lead the way, Helloween. I am yours. Dylan, you've been pretty quiet here, buddy. Do you have any juice on this, man?
I mean, you guys know I'm not really a Helloween fan. I did listen to the album though. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it so much. I thought it was all right. It's good heavy metal. I'm not a fan of Helloween's vocals personally. That's just how I am. I'm weird like that. But
what
I
a
do really
weirdo!
I do really like the instrumentation. I love the instrumentals. They're all their band members are really good at playing.
Oh, the playing is incredible.
It does sound great. But I don't have too much to say about it. I'm not as crazy hardcore fans as you guys are.
That's okay. I mean, like, I feel like I'm about to become a crazy hardcore Helloween fan, to be perfectly honest. I thought I was like
you're already there, buddy.
Well, like, no, but like, here's the thing. Like I said, I really only knew the '80s albums really intimately.
Yeah.
And the other stuff I've just heard, like, piecemeal here and there. But I do like stuff in this vein. I mean, I just think there's just this majestic, upbeat shit is like exactly what I need right now. And yeah, no, this was such a feel good album. I loved it. Just
this
420
is good power metal. This is good power metal. It makes you feel happy. It's very positive sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 420 out of 69. Great record. Yeah. So yeah. Anything else, guys, on this one? We just dig it.
No, I loved it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, right on. Yeah. If we want, we can move on to Chase's classic album.
Today we got Coven 6669. Blessed is the Black, or Blessed is the Black, whoever.
Blessed, but yeah, Blessed, but yeah. Yeah, but that's how they say the song, the title track. But yeah, from 1987. This band resides and is active in the Pacific Northwest. I've seen Coven several times. Have you, Chase?
I saw them once.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, no, and they're great. I mean, and I love that there's like that there are several 80s thrash metal bands from around here, a couple of which are still active. Which I love. That's just wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album, I still have this on vinyl. I bought a sealed copy too. Like, no one it has touched. No one's stylus has touched this but mine. As if that matters really. But no, this is a great thrash metal record. It's really a lot of fun. I really like the title track. I really like 6669, of course, and Rock This Church and several others. It's really a solid album. I think this one's really good, and then like the next album is like one of my favorite thrash albums ever. Like, it's one of like cream of the crop for me. But yeah, Coven is awesome.
Yeah, and they have a show coming up. I mean, it seems like they usually have a show coming up at some point. I mean, they don't really tour or anything like that, but they play shows fairly regularly, right?
They do. I mean, and they do have a show coming up February 1st up at Erebus in Kelso. We'll talk about that later in the show too. But yeah, that alongside Chemical Annihilation, another 80s thrash metal band, like legit from the 80s, and it's like there's like 5 thrash bands on this show. Like, it's I'm going to Kelso for this. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, what did you dudes think about this record? Highlights.
Dylan, you want to shoot?
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
I I know we talked about Coven a couple of times in previous episodes, but this is my first time actually listening to a whole one of their albums. And yeah, this was just fucking straight thrashy fun. I really enjoyed this. Um, the opening track, "Blessed is the Black," was giving me very heavy Exodus vibes,
I
like
could see
Bond or
that.
Blood.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of the song Piranha a little bit, like musically.
Sure.
I
I
don't
could see
know,
that.
but yeah, the rest of the album was really fun. Yeah, some highlights for me: "Rock This Church,"
Yeah.
"Iron Dick" made me laugh really hard.
Yeah. Let's not quote it. Let's not quote it.
Yeah.
And "McDonald Land Massacre" also made me laugh.
Yeah. That song is one of those ripped from the headlines kind of songs, because there really, in 1984 there really was a McDonald massacre.
Oh, geez, I didn't know that.
Where a guy went in and he killed like 21 people in a McDonald's. It's really awful. Yeah. But yeah. So that's pretty heavy stuff. But this is a great album, and it's not even their best one, you know. But yeah, Coven rules. I love Jay Clark's vocals, man.
Yeah, I remember the first time I listened to this, I had to, it took like a second listen because I wasn't actually digging the vocals at all. I was more like a all extreme vocal kind of guy at
Sure.
that point. Yeah, I think we all go through something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, no. Once I pulled my head out of my ass, I was like, "Oh, this sounds awesome."
Yeah. I think Jay had like one of the like perfect thrash voices. You know, in retrospect, it's like, oh man, do highs, and it's like, but there's some like hardcore punk thing going. It's like it's these thrash vocals that are, shouting with style, but there's some musicality to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain really, but like, but a good thrash metal vocalist kind of like could live in either world. Is hardcore punk or like a classic heavy metal. If you could deliver the goods kind of in either setting, I think it's just right for this subgenre. And I think Jay Clark, he was the man, So, yeah, yeah. You guys have anything else on this one?
Yeah, I just I really enjoy like thrash metal, or any metal for that matter, where I mean, I'm at the point now where, like, when I first started listening to metal, I couldn't understand any fucking lyrics, but now everything I listen to, pretty much I can understand the lyrics. And I guess that's just part of getting into metal really deeply, but
well, yeah.
When I'm listening to some songs, and like the shit they're saying just makes me giggle, like a little kid like laughing at a fart joke or something. I love songs like that. I love songs that are just funny, and I don't really care, if they're about like weird shit like iron,
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's just funny shit. Who cares?
It's definitely an album you got to approach as an adult and be like, "This is art. This is art." All time an adult.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like it's kind of black humor is kind of, I think, the tone. Like, you're really gonna take the lyrics to 6669 seriously? I mean, come on.
That was also making me laugh.
Yeah, but I mean, those yeah. But no, but this rules.
Yep.
The end.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So why don't we move on to Dylan's demolition?
Yeah, I chose Lobotomy, When Death Draws Near.
Yeah, 1990, right?
1990.
Swedish.
This is a Swedish band that I've never heard of. But they go just as hard as every other, of the staple Swedish death metal bands. Just as hard as Entombed or Carnage, the very heavy Entombed kind of vibes from these guys.
Yeah, and
just fun, groovy, classic Swedish death metal.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. It's kind of, based on this demo, I'm assuming they had several demos in the early 90s. I'm thinking like, okay, these demos are really quality, right?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Lobotomy ended up being a really, really minor players in the Swedish death metal scene. I don't know that they even had a full length until like '97, which is kind of like, whoa, we've kind of moved on by that point, even in the underground. I mean, it's like death metal is still really happening, but like, I think they really missed the boat as far as like being like getting to be lumped in with like not Carcass, but like Entombed and Hypocrisy and the rest of the greats from the Swedish scene, Grave, Dismember, so on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Carcass. They're from England. But yeah, no, this is really good. It's kind of like, man, I wonder what happened. Like why things just didn't work out for these guys and some other guys did,
This probably isn't the reason, but something I said to you earlier in the week, I looked up their full releases and I was looking at the album covers because I was like, why haven't I heard of these guys? And I'm looking at their album covers. I'm like, oh. And it
yeah, there's no like real iconic, like cool album cover from these guys that hurts them. But again, it's like, if they'd have had an album out in '91 and got Dan Seagrave to do the cover, I think people would be talking about Lobotomy differently, or they'd be talking about them at all. And look, that's literally just dressing. However, there's something to that. It's just like it's like because we all know, anytime there's like an album cover, it's like a Dan Seagrave or an Ed Repka cover, the stuff behind that cover is almost always going to just rule.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like something in the water and something about that time. It's like it's a safe bet. And they could have used some of that juice because this is a good band. This is a good band that I think a lot of people just haven't heard.
Yeah, I loved it. First of all, great pick, Dylan. I adore this every track. Essentially, I was hanging off of it, going like, okay, yeah. So, you ever heard of Entombed or Grave? Pussies compared to these guys is what I was saying.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, you get like, yeah, brutal, melodic, chaotic. Death metal needs to fucking sound like this again. I mean, the demo doesn't even sound like a demo. It's so well done.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really well executed.
Yeah, and I don't actually mean that about Entombed and Grave. Please don't come and kill me, anybody.
Right.
No, they're all from the same womb.
Yeah, but like this is as good as the new Molder album, which we reviewed and loved. It's sick shit and it's really good. So yeah. Lobotomy, kind of an unheralded gem of a band. How about that?
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
and you were talking about the artwork being important.
I love this album cover. This demo cover.
Well, yeah, this is a good album cover, and I can only imagine, like, it's fine on its own like this, but I can only imagine it like with like 10 times the detail and like colored. Like, how fucking cool that would look.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like album art for like these classic death metal albums, for people that don't know that rule of like, you want that really good art to be on there, so that shit behind it is good. Just people that don't know that rule, when they would go in a record store, you want something that they look at and go, what the fuck is this? Like, I've said this before. You want something that's like, what is the, and if you see something lame where it's just like the title of the band and then there's like a texture of like something and there's like nothing to it, then people are just going to get the wrong idea about it and maybe
walk right past that.
Yeah.
So the real takeaway is, guys, presentation is important.
Yes.
I mean, like that's something I learned a lot, like in work settings, but it's true. It's absolutely true for art, and yeah.
It wasn't the same. It's like you can't judge a book by its cover, but you will.
Yeah, especially you will judge an album by its cover.
Yes.
But and if you go and look at Lobotomy's album covers, they're pretty ho hum, but the music isn't. So yeah, but yeah. Okay, are we pretty good on this, guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay. think it's time for Hardcore Hall of Fame. And this week, I realized all the ones from last year were like U.S. bands, and I said, like, you know what, let's hit the U.K. for a while. And so I picked Discharge, Here's Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing. Their first full length from 1982. And this is great. I mean, like, look, this is the guys who started D-Beat, crust punk. British hardcore is so metallic, and it's wild how thrash metal their thrash metal scene was so muted compared to the other hotbeds of it around the world. You would think like the country that gave us punk, that gave us the new wave of British heavy metal, would have been the kings of thrash, but they kind of weren't. But things kind of stayed separate for some reason. Like, we don't let our food touch. But anyway, Discharge, awesome, and this is just a great record, man. You guys go, please.
I saw Discharge a while ago with Toxic Holocaust. I think it was. I think you were there.
No.
Oh, you weren't. Oh shit! You weren't there for that one. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
I literally in the entire span of me going to concerts, I think I've seen like 4 or 5 shows without Nick. So this is one of them, I guess.
You're telling me you saw Discharge with Toxic Holocaust? So I know we saw Casualties and English Dogs with Toxic Holocaust. You're saying you saw Discharge another time?
I'm fairly certain, but this isn't working. This memory never really works the best on me.
Okay.
Go ahead and disregard that one for now.
Okay.
Yeah. You said they were progenitors of DB, and I was like, shit. I was gonna say that because I remember listening to this, going like, do I call this DB? Of course I call it DB. It's got to be DB, right? And I look it up, and then it's like, oh, it's called DB after Discharge.
Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal, turns out. Yeah. Yeah. This album, the album kicked the crap out of me, and I don't even think it went in my wallet, man. It just did it to have fun.
Oh.
Brutalized by Discharge, or brutalized and then you got discharged. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Final Bloodbath, Drunk with Power were the 2 tracks that like battered me the hardest, I'd say, around the face. No, good pick, man.
Yeah. Dylan.
Yeah, well, my notes here, just in giant chicken scratchy caveman writing, Discharge fucking kicks ass. I think this is my favorite pick of yours so far.
Oh wow!
I've already known about Discharge, and I was so happy to see that you picked this because this shit rocks.
All right.
I fucking love the song "Protest and Survive."
Yeah, I love that one too.
Right at the beginning is like, ooh, yes. I had fun listening to the whole album again. Really good shit. And now I'm going to shamelessly lift a comment I saw from YouTube. If you're watching this, forgive me. This shit makes common punk look like Disney Channel music.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to disagree with that. I have a question. Do you guys think the song Free Speech for the Dumb, do you think the dumb they mean is unintelligent persons, or dumb like deaf and dumb, like unable to speak? Free speech for the dumb, like...
I always heard that as like a double.
Like a double.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it works on both levels.
Those are the 2 things I thought they were. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dylan, did you say something? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It was something that occurred to me this weekend. I was like, I wonder about that. The world may never know. We'll just ask Mr. Owl and we'll move on. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's oldie but a goodie. Well, cool. Sounds like we enjoyed this. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's time for Song of the Week, and Dylan is up first this time with Wasp, Fistful of
Wasp.
Diamonds.
Fistful of Diamonds. Oh my
1985, The Last Command. Tell us about this song, Dylan. Why you pick it?
So, this is probably one of my top 3 Wasp songs. This shit is very motivational. I think I even commented on the song on YouTube one time. I said something like, "This is a great song to motivate you to go to work in the morning." And anytime I make a bit of money and I feel pretty good about myself, I crank this one up as loud as it goes.
There you go.
Because it's just that kind of song. It's an anthem almost for making money. And I know the song probably is about like, it's about like wanting to be rich and famous or whatever, but as an average everyman kind of guy, it's just about making a bit of money, feeling good about yourself.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I like this. I like the album it's from. I hadn't listened to The Last Command in a long time, so this was kind of like taking me back a little. But yeah, good song.
I had an aunt, one of her husbands. She had like 5 of them. Back in the day, I believe, this is the only way this makes sense. His name was Mike. He had a mullet. Mike with the mullet. He was also one of those guys that really wanted to like just be like hustle all the time. So it would make sense that this is one of the songs be blaring out of his truck. But I remember this song blaring out of his truck, not liking Mike, but liking his music.
Okay. Okay.
But no, song. I have to agree with Dylan. Yeah, it's a good kick in the ass. You want to get out and start making that money.
Okay. All right. Okay. Why don't we go with Chase's song? You picked.
I picked Black Sabbath's "Never Say Die."
I love this song.
I don't love it. The whole album is underrated in my opinion, but I especially love this song.
Yeah.
I hit a couple of walls this week. I had some free time, but I also just had some crazy stuff going on in my head. And Ozzy, Tony, Geezer, and Bill had some pretty good advice for me.
Yeah.
Never say die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. The album this is from, and I'm not going to get way into it. It's like practically their yacht rock album. Up until like Seventh Star, it's like the least heavy thing that they produced.
I still like it.
Oh yeah, no. It's funny because like this album is like really memorable and really catchy, and like the one that precedes it is really heavy but pretty forgettable. Technical Ecstasy.
Odd how that works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Huh.
It's like they were stumbly at that point. A lot of cocaine. But anyway, yeah, this is a great song. I love this song. It's an anthem. It really a lot of fun.
I love this song too. When it first started, I was like, "Is this the Boys Are Back in Town?"
Oh, let's hope not.
But no, this is really great, really catchy, very positive. Great pick, Chase. Love it.
Yeah. All right, and so my song of the week, I chose "The Guitar Is My Sword" by Heavy Load from the 1982 album Death or Glory. 2 things. One, I picked it because the guitarist and frontman of Heavy Load, Ragni Wahlquist, passed away unexpectedly this week. That's really a loss. Great band. I recently read this incredible interview with him and his brother what is the magazine? Old School Metal Maniac out of Poland. It's in English though. And it was really great. And I was just like, the big takeaway was like, man, what a great couple of guys, just really loving life and loving making music and just cool dudes. But I love this. This song is great. And like, what an incredible title. The Guitar Is My Sword. Yeah. Does it get more metal than that? Yeah.
I said it's like if King Conan was confiding in his sword, but his sword was a fender, and I realized that's just the title of the song again. But I knew I was gonna love this song from the opening riff. The opening riff just like grabbed motorboat me. I love this.
Yeah. This is just great heavy metal, dude. Yeah, heavy load. R.I.P. Ragni Walquist.
Yeah, man.
Dylan,
Yeah, this is a really great song. I did like it a lot. I want to know, is the rest of this album this good?
it's a good
Would you?
album. It's a good
Okay,
album.
all right.
Yeah,
I will look into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I mean, killer fucking cover.
yeah. I love
But
it.
yeah, yeah, bitchin' song, great pick.
Cool. Right on. Well, I guess what we have left is just talk about some upcoming shows. Let's see. First on the 18th of this month, over at where is that? The world famous Kenton Club, the Bymarks, Malakili, Arsenal Mall, External Ballistics, and Betrayer are going to be hardcoring it up. Uh, actually, this is quite a variety of punk styles, but and that should be a dope show. I am planning to go to this one. That's next Saturday, and the next night at the Roseland, the Kerry King Band along with Municipal Waste and Alien Weaponry will be thrashing it up. Um, and that should be a great time for the folks that are going to be there. Uh, yes. Let's see. On the 24th, Friday the 24th, The Accused, Long Knife, Betrayer again, and Disc Test are going to be playing at the Twilight in a benefit for the Burnside Skate Park. That's going to rule, dudes. And yeah, definitely, I want to be at that. What a great night of crossover that's going to be. The following night, also at the Twilight, Drouth, along with Old Machines, who are great, and a band, Lethaphasia, excuse me, and another band to be announced, going to be at the Twilight. That's going to be a show that you can go to. Not a program, a show. But and then same night at the Coffin Club, I gotta be at this speed metal ass kickers solicitor, along with Seattle Thrashers Vanishment. I think they're Seattle. I know they're Washington State anyway. And Kreeselvar, who are Believer D-Beat, Crust Punk, something in that vicinity, are going to be at the Coffin Club. That's going to be a dope time. I am looking forward to that. And then, of course, on February 1st, up in Kelso, Washington, the Mighty Coven 6669, alongside Chemical Annihilation, Sidewalk Slam, Atomic Terror, and Forced Infection will be thrashing their mother-heckin' asses off for $10. How can you go wrong? That's definitely going to be worth the drive. Yes. Let's see. And then for later in the month, February 25th, Decapitated, Incantation, Darkest Hour, and Ex Mortis will be rocking the Roseland, bringing you death metal and other styles for all your heavy metal needs. Yes. Yes, and also of note, Incantation will be playing Mortal Throne of Nazarene in its entirety, so that's going to be cool. Cool for the folks who are going to be there. And I know, because we got to have it, baby, that we're going to be at the next show I'm going to talk about on February 27th, Cavalera Conspiracy, with support from Necrot and Dead Heat. Cavalera Conspiracy, of course, will be playing an old school set of early Sepultura material. That is a do not miss it tour for sure. Gonna rule. Yeah, man. Chase, why don't you hit us with the sign off, baby?
Right. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and join the insanity or die as you fall.
I love it. Good night, guys. Thank you.